Okay, time for the Flash mid-season finale review. I gotta say, this was another really great episode. Granted, the ending of the episode was kind of like, oh, we figured it out long before the mid-season reveal. You'd have to be... yeah. Oh, God. Oh, I'm so sick of being sick. But yeah. The ending was kind of predictable, because we've all kind of figured it out by the end. Since the pilot, actually. It took me actually a while, but I actually have a kind of an interesting theory I want to throw out later on in the review. But anyway, let's get started with the man in the yellow suit. Now, this episode pretty much is a nice little holiday episode. It starts out with Barry and Joe decorating for the holidays. Then they get, Iris and him are left alone. And Barry gives him gives Iris this wedding band that belonged to her mother. It was actually a recast because she had lost it during a field trip during the 4th grade. So he made a recast of it and gave it to her. And around that time, that's when Eddie shows up and Barry gets all mopey. And yeah. Meanwhile, while this is going on, we have the Reverse Flash just come in, wreck shit in this factory at a facility at a place called Mercury, kills 2 people, tries to get this thing called a tachyon. There's some kind of machine that can manipulate tachyons, and yeah, it pretty much from there. What was I gonna say? It pretty much has, Barry, Joe, and Eddie at the scene, and it's pretty much it's like a yellow blur came in and killed people. Also, while we have this going on, Caitlin is reunited with Ronnie, who doesn't seem to remember. He has an inkling of who she is, but he keeps igniting into Firestorm. Which again, I'm sorry, I completely remember, I was a little drunk when I did that review on the Flash vs. Arrow episode, so I called him Heatwave multiple times, but it's Firestorm. We're getting Heatwave on January 20th. Thank God these mid-season finale reviews, these mid-seasons are only going to be, not even a full month. It's only going to be 6-8 weeks apart. It's not like with The Walking Dead where you have to wait 2 months, right? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Anyway. So, Barry, of course, is angry that, the man in the yellow suit is finally back. I gotta say, let me talk about the Reverse Flash real quick. I really dig the costume. I mean, I saw, set photos of the Reverse Flash costume. It's good. I like the yellow and I like the black and yellow to it. And I like kind of the more of the body armor feel. It's like, obviously, if you're running that speed, you're going to be hitting. If you hit something, you're going to need some protection there. So I really do like that. I really like that form. I really like that costume. I mean, so like I said, Barry is of course very upset that he really, the man in yellow is back and he wants to take him out. So he's planning to, find this guy finally after 14 years. He is ready to take him out. However, while this is going on, what happens is that Eddie and Iris are, Eddie pretty much says, "Hey, I want you to move in with me," and Iris is like, "Yes," and I'm like, I don't care. I really don't care. I will say this, though. I will say this in this review. The romantic stuff in here was actually handled a lot better than it has in the past few episodes, because it's handled a lot better in these episodes, in the Flash. I've been meaning to say this for a while. The Flash episodes the Flash TV show handles the romantic stuff a lot better than I think Arrow has been lately, because Arrow just really gets out there sometimes. I'm like, God damn it, just stop. Just stop already. Stop. Anyway. So, more or less, Iris tells Barry about, oh, we're gonna, Eddie and I are gonna move in, and it's great, and Eddie, but Eddie's kind of convinced you have a thing for me, and Barry's like, no, that's stupid, that's dumb, that's totally true though. And when she leaves, boom, there's the reverse flash right outside, and let me just say, I love when, honestly, I feel for Barry, because, I can understand, wanting to just catch a guy. If he had done something horrible like that, yeah, I'd want to kick his ass, too. And it kind of reminded, did anyone else, is it just me, or did this remind anyone else of, if you've read, the early Brian Michael Bendis Ultimate Spider-Man, when they introduced Venom, when, Peter, outside of the Spider-Man costume, fought Eddie Brock when he was Venom? Did anyone else get reminded of that? At all? Anyone get reminded of that? Because that's what it reminded me of. Because he runs after him without the costume on, and Reverse Flash is just beating the shit out of him because he is, he was not prepared at all. Also, oh my god, I cannot believe I forgot to bring this up earlier in the review. Joe admitted during the crime scene that the man in the yellow suit stole all of his evidence when he was looking into the case further, and threatened to hurt Iris, and didn't tell Barry out of fear of the man in the yellow suit coming after him, coming after Iris. I mean, so from there we. I'm sorry, I'm just totally blanking right now. I cannot believe I'm just blanking out. Meanwhile, what's going on with Caitlin and Cisco is that they're trying to find Ronnie. They're trying to find Ronnie, and they find him, and all he says is firestorm, and just shoots fire everywhere. It almost looks like, is it just me, or did it look like he was, the fire blast from his head and hands? It kind of reminded me of the regeneration process in Doctor Who. I don't know, maybe it's just me. God, it's whenever I laugh I cough. This is horrible. Anyway, so so they obviously discuss, Joe, Dr. Wells, and Barry, come to the, CEO of Mercury, because obviously the man in the yellow suit, let's just call him Reverse, because Reverse Flash wants those tachyons to obviously make himself faster, and Barry pretty much says up front to this woman, hey, you've got some interesting objects in that facility, and I could easily blow the lid on everything. So she relents and hands over the tachyon machine to Star Labs to set a trap up. And that's when Eddie overhears it and is like, hey, my task force is going to join you, whether you like it or not, Joe. And Joe's like, oh, fuck, fine. So while they're setting up the trap, I really love this scene because, Barry is talking to Wells and Joe admits, look, we don't want you there. Your head's not in the game, and this is too real for you. You're gonna make a mistake. This thing nearly killed you in a fight. And Barry's like, no, I'm ready, and I could have been ready earlier if you had told me he was weeks ago in this city. So he takes off and goes to talk to his dad. And I gotta admit, I love this scene between, Barry and his dad. I love this scene where, Barry admits to him, he has taken so much from us. Don't let him take any more. And Barry's like, yeah, go time. So before he goes off to do that, he goes to meet Iris because he's pretty much thinking, this is going to be my last fight. This guy nearly beat the shit out of me. So I'm going to, say my last rites, and, to Iris and, fight this guy. So he goes to talk to Iris, and I really love the scene of why he finally admits he never admitted he loved Iris. Was because he was so afraid of being rejected by her that he would be alone, because his father was in jail, his mother had died, so he was really afraid of the rejection because then he would be really alone. He would be truly, truly alone. So, okay, I can buy that. I mean, obviously, dad's in jail, mom's gone, and, he's pretty much picked on by everyone else at school, so I can buy that, And he knows, it's a little late for that, but he just wanted to admit that, and he leaves. And now Iris is sitting on that, so I can only imagine that's going to... It was a good scene, don't get me wrong, it was a really good scene, but it's going to lead to some bad situations. I just know it. I just know that this is going to lead to some really bad situations. So, meanwhile, the tachyon trap's being set, and boom, in comes the Reverse Flash. They catch him in a tachyon shield, and, Dr. Wells, Joe, Eddie, and his task force come in, and they're ready to arrest him. But the Reverse Flash pretty much said, "Look, you and I know each other. You and I have been at this for a long time." Reverse Flash suddenly breaks down the machine, and the machine I think was sabotaged, and I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, Reverse Flash breaks out, kills all the other officers, and then doesn't attack Eddie. Now let me bring up this little bit of theory I have. Now, I have a few theories on this. First being, I think what's going on is that the Reverse Flash is Ebon Thwane. But however, I think the reason why he didn't attack Eddie is because Eddie is like Ebon Thwane's from the 25th century. So I think that he doesn't want to kill Eddie because that's his ancestor. So he'd probably fuck up his own timeline if he, killed him. So that's why I think he spared him. The other reason is that maybe, Eddie is the Reverse Flash, and there are two Reverse Flash. I mean, obviously, yeah, we have the Reverse Flash, and then we have Hunter Zolomon, Professor Zoom. So why not have two? I mean, Johns did that. I believe, yeah, Johns did have Eddie Thwane and Hunter Zolomon in one story together. So I would not put him past it to put, there's two Reverse Flash, or maybe it's just, either Ebon Thwane or Hunter Zolomon from the future in the present timeline. So yeah, the machine goes haywire. The Reverse Flash actually grabs Dr. Wells and starts beating the shit out of him. And yeah, the machine goes haywire, and that's when Barry runs in, catches him, but the fight goes about as well the first time around as it did the first time. So yeah, he nearly gets beaten down again, and that's when suddenly, boom, a flash of fire comes in, and Firestorm comes in. Caitlin runs up to him, and Ronnie tells him, "Don't come looking for me again," and he just flies away, Firestorm style. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. Reverse Flash gets away, and yeah, Barry's kind of sore about it, but he's ready for another fight. Later on that night, him and Joe have a talk, and I really love. Again, this is another great personal scene between Barry and Joe, where I really love the scene between them where Joe admits, "Look, I lost my wife. I didn't feel like taking, I was kind of worried about taking you in. You just lost your mom. I just lost my wife. And, I wasn't making a lot of money. But when you came into our lives, you brought in this light. You brought in this just great light into us, into our family. And don't ever lose that light, Barry. Please don't ever lose that light." So I really liked that. I really liked how that is all kind of going down. But yeah. So all in all, there's a really good Christmas party. There's a Christmas party at the West House, and Iris is like, she gives Barry this look of, "Oh, I don't, maybe I like you too. I don't know." And I'm like, oh, it was such a good scene between Iris and Barry, but I know it's gonna be some really shitty love triangle scenes between them now. Oh God. And then we get the final scene. Oh, well, before I get to the final scene, let me bring this up. Joe and Cisco have a talk, and Cisco tells Joe, when Barry and the night Barry's mom was killed, there was a red and yellow streak. Well, the guy only had a yellow streak until Barry showed up, and that's when it was like, oh, the Flash and Reverse Flash ran through time, and here I am thinking, oh, it was kind of like what I said. So yeah, probably the season finale is going to be the final fight between Reverse Flash and Flash, and it's going to be, either Barry has to save himself or let his mother die. So that's going to be interesting. Anyway, all in all, really, I really like. Oh yeah. Let's talk about the final scene. The final scene is Dr. Wells standing up in his little lab, and he takes out the flash ring, which made me squee to no end. Like I was like, oh my god, this is the flash ring. And it's actually for one split second, I honest to God thought that, I honestly thought that, Dr. Wells was really a future version of Barry Allen, and I thought that'd be cool since he played the Flash in the '90s cartoon. I honestly thought he was going to be, reprising his role as Barry Allen, and he was just watching over himself in the past. But nope, when he activates that Flash ring, it's the Reverse Flash, which is something we've all been thinking about since, been theorizing who he really is since day one. But now I'm kind of curious, is it him from the past, or are there really two Reverse Flashes, or is it him from the future, or how is he doing that? How the hell are you doing that, Mr. Wells? How are you doing that, Mr. Wells, or excuse me, Mr. Zolomon or Thwain? How the hell are you doing that? So yeah, thanks for that reveal. Something we all figured out months ago. Anyway, so all in all, I really liked this episode. The romantic stuff didn't feel forced at all, and god damn did they make the Reverse Flash terrifying. Again, he's a very little-known villain, but as my good friend Anthony phrased him as, imagine the Joker if he had superpowers. That's the best way you can look at the Reverse Flash. But anyway, really enjoyed this episode, so you guys tell me, what did you guys think of the Flash mid-season finale? Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? And what are your theories on the whole, how the hell is the whole Reverse Flash thing working, and what's the possible connection between Reverse Flash and Eddie Thwain, or Thrawn, or however the fuck you pronounce it. But yeah, tomorrow will be the mid-season finale of Arrow. I'm guessing that's coming back January 20th as well. But for right now, yeah, there's a lot coming out for the Flash that I'm really excited for. Next episode, we'll have both Heatwave and Captain Cold, and I'm like, oh, that's gonna be so cool. And then you have also Mark Hamill coming back as the Trickster. That's gonna be pretty fucking epic. And a lot of other stuff has been announced, and I think it's really cool. So all in all, yeah, once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.